$300 bet, Liam O'Connell's escape from the beige abyss. The fluorescent lights of the accounting firm buzzed with the soporific energy of 1,000 dead dreams. Liam O'Connell, 25 and already sporting the 1,000-yard stare of a man whose soul was being priced out of existence, slammed his fist onto the filing cabinet. Not in anger, but in sheer, exhausted frustration.
You're telling me
He hissed to the indifferent metal.
that after an 80-hour week meticulously color-coding expense reports for a company that sells novelty desk toys, I have negative $42.51 to my name?
He yanked a statement from his mailbox. A crimson tsunami of debt. Student loans, credit cards, a medical bill for that one time he tried to make artisanal mayonnaise. He looked up, his face illuminated by the harsh, unrelenting office light, and whispered a vow that wasn't a joke.
I will not die here, smelling of stale toner and regret.
That was the moment Liam stopped treading water and decided to build a financial ark. The year was 2005. Liam's job was junior compliance analyst for a mid-tier accounting firm, a role that required him to audit spreadsheets with the intensity of a diamond cutter, but paid him with the generosity of a street mime. It was the beige abyss. His debt mountain was his loud, perpetually hungry roommate, constantly demanding interest. Liam didn't want a yacht. He just wanted to stop checking his bank balance with his eyes half closed. He needed a secret blueprint, a slow, boring, dependable path out of the swamp. One rain-soaked Friday night, forsaking cheap takeout, he found himself at the public library. His search query: how to get ridiculously rich without selling a kidney. He stumbled past the digital snake oil, the Forex bots, and the penny stock hot tips until he landed on a beautifully mundane concept: buy the whole darn machine. It was there, hunched over a sticky keyboard, that he first read the ticker symbol that would become his financial spirit animal: Information Technology, ETF. This ETF wasn't a single shiny stock. It was a vast, cheap-to-own basket of the world's essential digital giants: Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google. It promised to tag along on the unstoppable, long-term climb of the entire tech sector for a microscopic fee. It was boring. It was dependable. It was a machine designed for the long game. Liam performed a terrifying white-knuckle act. He liquidated $300 from his meager emergency fund. He bought just over one share of the ETF. The next few years were defined by grim, relentless discipline and heroic frugality. He adopted dollar-cost averaging. He became the guy who brought Tupperware containers of lentil soup to the office and argued with his credit card company like it was a bad relative. He funneled every spare dollar into his ETF machine. $100, sometimes $150 a month. He kept his lifestyle flatlined and aggressively increased his contribution. He was simply buying small, incremental pieces of the future every 30 days. This discipline was savagely tested in the winter of 2008. Liam had accumulated about $15,000 in the information technology ETF. Then the financial world detonated. The news was a toxic sludge of fear. The market plunged, and Liam watched his savings melt. $15,000 became $8,000. The temptation to panic sell was a physical, screaming ache in his chest. He stared at the ETF ticker flashing an angry, deep red. He saw Microsoft, Cisco, and Apple being beaten down, not because they stopped being good companies, but because the entire system was paralyzed by fear. He remembered the simple, counterintuitive rule: when others are running away, the disciplined investor must buy. Liam located an extra $500 he'd saved by driving his car like an elderly tourist and did the unthinkable. He bought more. It was a deliberate act of psychological resistance against terror. He was not just buying shares, he was buying them on sale. The decade that followed was the quietest, most powerful part of Liam's journey. Wealth creation, he learned, is often profoundly dull. He just kept feeding the machine. The initial shares he bought during the 2008 panic were now multiplying the value of every new share. This snowball effect, where money starts making money, was becoming a tangible force. In 2018, he married Sarah, and she became his partner in the ETF habit. The final major test arrived in early 2020. Liam was 40, and his information technology portfolio was a glorious, comforting 7-figure sum. As the world locked down, the market crashed again. Liam watched his hard-earned net worth plummet by 6 figures. Sarah looked at him, eyes wide.
The internet says this is the end of days. Should we panic yet?
He smiled, a tired, knowing smile.
This is the fire sale, honey. The ETF is technology. Are people going to stop using computers or the cloud? No, they're going to need them more.
They held the line and maximized their contributions. The rebound was historic. The companies within the ETF surged, and Liam's portfolio didn't just recover. It went vertical. The year is 2025. Liam is 45. He is sitting on the sun-drenched deck of his own home, enjoying the smell of fresh coffee that doesn't also smell of printer toner. He checks his investment account one last time, his portfolio glowing a solid, comforting green. He closed the laptop, finally realizing the true secret was not in being clever or lucky, but in being patient and boring. The ETF simply forced him to bet on progress. The journey from $300 and a mountain of debt to freedom hadn't been fast, but it had been certain, powered by the quiet, unstoppable momentum of technology itself. He had escaped the beige abyss,